Welcome back to RC Dirt Oval. I'm your host, Andy Zeller, and today's episode, we're going to show you great gifts that you can get this holiday season under $25. So today's episode, we're going to go over some great gifts that are inexpensive, stocking stuffers, if you will. If you're looking to give somebody else ideas, or you know an RC racer that participates regularly and you're looking for ideas for gifts for them, there's a ton of stuff out there, even under $25. I tried to just go with some stuff that I thought was, pretty valuable in my eyes and in my opinion. And I'm sure I'll miss stuff, whatever. If you guys have better ideas, drop them in the comments below so that people can see, drop links to those. That'd be great. That way we can have a whole list of other products that are worth it, because I'm sure I'll miss some stuff. But I just put together a small list of some great gifts under $25. First product that I'm going to go over is the Racing Heatsink Bullet plug grips. I have a different brand here, the Power Hobby brand. But what these are is anything that you're using bullet connectors for. What I've noticed sometimes I've had happen is running the bullet connectors. Sometimes the connections will start to get loose on you. And I've actually had it where, I'm racing and I get hit or I run into the wall, whatever I do, and the battery wire comes unplugged because that connector just gets too loose. And one of the ways that you fix that is you put a pick or something here in the end of the bullet connector, and you kind of spread out those little fins on it, and make it a tighter connection. When it's a tighter connection, you don't want to have to be pulling on the wire itself, because eventually it's going to come off of the solder joint. So these plug grips are great because they go over top, and it gives you something to grab a hold of when you're pulling out those bullet connectors. So those are available in different size bullet connectors. I think the link that I have is for the 5mm. That's what I use. So I believe they're also available in the 4, but whichever you get there, all the links for all the items are going to be in the description below. So go ahead and check those out. That's idea number 1. Next, we have the Raptor RC, which is my company, the tire break-in tool. I know there's a ton of tire break-in tools out there. It's actually not as many as I thought it was, but this was actually the design of another brand. I believe it was SXT through A-Main offered something like this, and I started making them because I couldn't get them anymore. And these, in my opinion, are significantly better than the alternative types. You want one, if you get any sort of break-in tool, it doesn't have to be mine, make sure that it screws in with an actual screw, or I've seen some that have a post out and use like a socket, like a lock nut, something like that, because I tried the other ones. I forget what brand it is, and I'm not trying to like crap on somebody's product, but another type has a screwable piece on the end that threads, like an end on, and you thread that in. And what I've noticed is that those will back out so easily when you're running your drill that it'll allow this metal hex that is attached to your wheel, when that gets loose, that's just going to rip out your wheel. And I've had brand new wheels stripped out that I couldn't use because I was breaking in a tire and it loosened up on me, and that was it. So what these are for, if you don't know, it's a 12mm hex. So anything using a 12mm hex will pop on here, and you attach this end then to your drill, and you're able to then turn the tire and the wheel. So you can use it for foam busting or sanding or any of that stuff. Burning in, tire prep, all those things are done easily with a tool like this. Just make sure, like I said, get one that has, this one specifically has a nice metal end that goes into your hex, and then you just pop this screw in on the outside. So make sure that you have something that's definitely going to stick in there, because you don't want any sort of play. that's how your tires or your wheels are going to get stripped out on you. Next, I have, and I'm sorry, I didn't mention the price on that. It's $10.99 for that tire break-in tool. The next item is the RPM Camber Gauge. I see everybody with this one. It's just so easy to use, and it's cheap. $9.99 price point on this. Very easy, like I said, to use. Just loosen up your screw here, pop her down. It has a nice flat side to sit on the table or bench, and just line it up. And then when it's touching and you got it straight, you can pull it off, read what degree you're at super easily. It's nice and big here on the outside. I like to set the degree that I like and make sure that I sit it here and get every surface of that tire to touch. That's another way, and I do that using like a turnbuckle wrench. I'll turn my camber link and get it lined up with the gauge. But $10, easy. Everybody should have one of these in their toolbox. It's a great tool to have. Moving on, I have a different brand here. I think I got these off Amazon, and some of these products, most of them are off A-Main. You can find other stuff on Amazon, eBay. I know a lot of people find stuff on there. I think I actually got these off Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. But the alternate version, and I'll have a picture up probably over here of the items, the EcoPower Multifunction shock shaft pliers. So they're very similar to any other shock plier. They come in at $24.99, and this one features shock shaft pliers, ball length pliers, and wire crimps all in the same tool. So for those of you that don't know about shock pliers, it's got nice rounded edges in here to hold different shock shaft sizes, and allows you to grip the shock shaft without having to use like needle nose or something that might mess those up. Also has down here with the ball links, the tool to remove the inside of that. So you just put that through and then pop that out. And those are, this brand is Hobby Park, so I guarantee that's from Amazon or whatever. But the EcoPower looks like a good deal and comes in at a good price point. So my next, I don't have any on hand, but the 1UP Premium RC solder comes in at $24.99. It's a 100-gram roll, low resistance, easy to work with. I've used this before, and they also have a smaller size if you just need like a small container of solder or something, and you don't want the whole big roll for $25. I think it was like $7.99 for the smaller. If you follow the link, there's just an alternate picture, and when you click on that, it shows you the smaller little tube, and the price I believe is $7.99 on that. So always good to have solder available. You never know when you're gonna have to solder something up. If you're trying to even get off, if you buy a used motor, a lot of times with the old solder, even if you heat up your soldering iron, as hot as it goes, sometimes it's really hard to get that old solder to start to come off. So it's nice to put a little bit of new solder on it. So it's just something I think is very valuable to have in everybody's box. So going back to the tire break-in tool, this next one comes in pretty handy with that. And this is a SXT 3-inch wide sanding stick. Comes in at $11.99. I love these. These are awesome. This is the same one I've used for a ton of tires. It's starting to get a little wear on the edge. You can kind of see it there where the metal is exposed. But still lots of life left in this, and I've done a ton of tires on it. So what's nice about this is I originally would fold up like pieces of sandpaper and just hold it there. It gets hot because you're running it constantly. So there's a heat element to it. These sanding sticks are just nice because you can literally like put pressure down on it really easily. You can either run the tire on top and push your drill and the tire down. So again, you would use one of these break-in tools to hook up to your drill, and make sure when you're sanding, I always like to do it going in the direction of the tire. You don't want to sand opposite. But this is nice because you can kind of control where you're getting on the tire, like coming up to the sidewall, like rounding off, getting rid of all those hard edges and stuff like that. So again, great tool to have. $11.99. If you don't have one, pick that up for sure. And I mentioned this in the last one about a turnbuckle wrench, or I was saying with the camber gauge. The next product is the Protek turnbuckle wrench. These are the ones I use. I know like MIP has turnbuckle wrenches and stuff too, which are great. The Protek ones are nice because you can get two different sizes, a size on each side of it. Excuse me. And they're very easy to use. So, very, small profile, so you can get into those tight spaces and turn those turnbuckles to adjust things like your camber, your toe. So again, at $13.75. Not a bad tool to have if you don't have one. And as I mentioned, some of the stuff can be found on Amazon or eBay or different sources like that. The next one I don't have, and it's more for, I don't know if this would work on like your Custom Works or GFRP ball cups, but the Protek ball cup wrench, I know it works on associated stuff. If you've ever had to try and put on brand new ball cups, they can be very difficult to get started. And if you use needle nose or something like that to hold the ball cup, you're gonna, gnarl it all up, which never is good. So this tool, what it allows you to do is actually put the ball cup into the end of the tool, and it has a socket wrench on it. So you would hold like your turnbuckle wrench here, hold that steady at the link in the middle, and then use your ball cup wrench to turn and thread in that brand new ball cup. So definitely a good tool to have. I think I can relate to the pain that is threading new ball cups, and anybody that's done them knows that they are not a joy of the hobby. So $13.75 Protek ball cup wrench, another good one to have. I thought I brought mine out here. I don't think I did, but the next one is the MIP 7mm nut wrench. So this is a wheel wrench that's going to work on, I believe, almost every car that we run pretty much on dirt oval is a 7mm nut on the wheel. Even the Custom Works ones still work with my 7mm. I'm sure it's standard, or maybe it's not. I don't know. Either way, the 7mm nut wrench, it's, I think, good to have a actual nut wrench. Using the tiny ones that come with like the Traxxas cars get you by, but having an actual good wrench that you can get those nuts on the whole way. Too many times that I've either done it or I've seen wheels coming off in the middle of a race because we just didn't have the proper tools to put the nuts on appropriately. So the MIP 7mm nut wrench, $21.99 for that. I don't have this next one either, but the DuraTrax Deluxe car stand, I think Landon had one of these. It's $19.99, but it's a nice little pit stand for your car. It rotates around. It has a nice little cup for screws and stuff like that. I think at $19.99, that's totally reasonable. This one, I don't know if it specifically works on the slash. Some of the ones out there, you have to kind of be careful because of the supports that come up from I guess the ones from the front and the rear. They come up and they meet towards the middle of the car. Those support bars on the slash make it difficult to stay on a stand. So I know Traxxas has a new standout that works, really well with all of those cars. But for $20, $19.99, not a bad one to have. And if you don't have something, I think that's a great thing to have in the box. Next one is the PRP Tire Prep in a 5-ounce with a foam tip on it. This comes in at $18.99. All kinds of different compounds, or not compounds, like solutions available. They have less aggressive to more aggressive. The link I put in is for cinnamon. That's pretty standard. Pretty good to go anywhere along the spectrum of that. The grape here that I have is super aggressive. This is their most aggressive compound, or formula, if you will. What I like about these foam tips is that you just squeeze it a little bit, get it into the tip here, and then you just bring that along the tire. So you don't have to worry about the daubers or anything like that. I think that's a cool, man, that smells good. That's a cool idea, and I believe the only tire prep I've seen so far to offer something like that. So with the foam tip, love it. You can get the smaller sizes with the dauber that are a little cheaper. I think they're like $14.99 or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but you can find all that information by following the link on this product. So when you follow that link, it's just for cinnamon, and then you can select which size. And again, this is the 5-ounce with the foam tip. There's obviously other tire prep manufacturers out there. I thought that I would put Papa Willies in mention here too, with their bearing Elixir. Not sure exactly what this comes in at. I'll have it on the image down on the screen over this way. Sorry. And this stuff is amazing though. Bearing Elixir, if you haven't tried it before, it's good in your transmission. It's good for obviously bearings. I have not used this on ceramic bearings. I use something different, but this is also good for your BL2, drop in a drop, on the back side and the front side, along the shaft. Just great stuff. I've taken bearings that barely move and add some of this stuff after you clean them out, and it just makes a world of difference. And I think this is really like some of the top of the line stuff out there. So Papa Willies also offers the tire prep stuff as well, but the bearing Elixir for sure is a must-have. For my final product, it's more of an honorable mention. They are on sale right now for Black Friday, but it's the Zee Batteries. This specific one, and the one that I have in the link, is a 5200 mAh, 50C, 7.4 volt, 2S battery. This is your Mud Boss standard. They are on sale for Black Friday. A pack of 2 of them comes in just over $25. Price will be over here. I feel like for the price, you cannot beat that. And I couldn't do this episode without mentioning it. Again, they are very inexpensive. With that, they're not going to be the best performance batteries out there. There's plenty of good batteries out there, but they can be very expensive. So to have a low price alternative like this makes the Zee Batteries awesome, especially for learning, for people just getting into the hobby. I ran these the first, I think, year or two that I was in RC racing, like exclusively. And they certainly get the job done. Again, there's some performance issue there, a little bit, and there's also some slight variance between the different batteries that I've gotten. I've ordered 4 at a time before, and one might be good and the other 3 are like kind of so-so. You'll notice it with trying to charge them back up, but just go through your proper battery maintenance, and I'll have a more specific episode on that topic here in the near future. But make sure you're maintaining them properly, putting them in storage, discharge, all that good stuff. And they should really get you by. There's no reason, and I like to have these still for practice, for sometimes even like the qualifiers. That way you save your good performance batteries for the main rounds. Overall, for that price, you can't beat it. They have different ends. This specific one has an XT60 end on it. The linked product is a Dean's end. So make sure you're getting the right ends on it, but you want to check with your local track and their Mud Boss rules, or whatever you're racing that would use these batteries, and make sure you fall into line with them. Other than that, that's really the list. I think there's some good products on here, and there's probably a ton more out there. Some of the smaller manufacturers doing, like 3D printing and stuff like that, I'm sure a bunch of their products would fit into this. So make sure to check those guys out too. And I'm sure some of them are going to do Black Friday sales. And I am sure that some of the stuff even listed on this episode may go on sale for Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So be sure to keep an eye out for all of that stuff. As of shooting this video, those are the current prices as of now. So if you have any other stuff that you feel like should be on the list, by all means, list that in the comments. Let's grow the comments to another huge list of other products that would be under $25 that you guys feel would be necessary. So with the holiday season coming up here, I'm excited to spend that with my family. I hope that all of you out there have a good holiday season coming up here. We're a week away from Thanksgiving. So with Thanksgiving, I appreciate everybody that has supported us so far in doing this, and ask that you do like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. I'll have an episode out next Friday for the podcast with Landon Godfrey, and that episode is how to get into dirt oval racing. And we kind of just touched on the surface of it, but a decent episode there with Landon coming up next Friday. So look out for that. And until then, you guys have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful week and a good start to the holiday. And we'll see you on the next one.